the Any Day in Texas podcast. So recently made a few changes. The podcast is still there, but I decided to go ahead and integrate everything else. I mean, I have a YouTube channel. It was the South Texas Beat, but I went ahead and renamed that to Any Day in Texas as well. Make that kind of correspond to the podcast as well. Of course, I have a Facebook page, Any Day in Texas. So that's where we want you guys to go. I keep saying we, like there's a mouse in my pocket, but where I want you guys to go to bring up ideas, bring up discussions, especially with some of the format that I've got going on so far. I've decided to add War Stories version where all of us veterans get together and tell some stupid war stories out there. I call them war stories, but just stories, period, right? Some of the funniest crap that we could dig up, but also the heart-wrenching stuff. By all means, man. Yeah, you want to bring it out. You want to do a tribute to somebody with the story, then we can do that as well. Okay. It's just the funny ones seem to really stick. But yeah, I figured I got enough stories to last a lifetime, and there's some of you guys out there that have that ability as well, right? So we're going to put that in there. But of course, Any Day Texas is going to be primarily dedicated to Texas Red Dirt music. We're going to go over who's hopping up, who's hopping down, who's where, things like that, right? And where's David Adam Burns today, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over, help these guys out, push their singles out there, push their EPs, push their albums out there. Just get them the boost that they need, especially in this crazy time right now where the carpet's been yanked from under them once again, right? And also on that little tip there, we got some guys who want to actually come out here and play a few sets on the back deck that you see in the background here, right? What a hell of a setting to play some of your music and get it showcased on Facebook Live. We'll put it on YouTube if we can as well. We'll see if we can simulcast it on the podcast one day as well too. So, and of course, some Rebecca Creek will be poured and spilled. Maybe some other choice Texas whiskeys out there as well. Hopefully we can make that happen. But there are some performers out there that definitely want to jump on board. So, and we want to make sure we have a good time doing it. And this is where it's at, right? But anyhow, we got some boys coming down that are wanting to come down anyway. We need to work some scheduling out, so they're gonna come out here and play. So that'll be a good addition as well to the YouTube channel, Facebook Live. Once again, like I said, so get on that Any Day in Texas page, like it, follow it. Get on Any Day in Texas on my YouTube. Just look me up, Any Day in Texas, right? Because anything can happen any day in Texas, and especially with Art Wallace involved, something can definitely happen. You guys saw my Facebook Live last week, maybe, I think it was. It was pretty hilarious. Thanks again to Cameron Nelson. That was awesome. We need to do that again. And we've already talked about doing that again, too. He and I needed to recover a little bit. But anyhow, once again, Any Day in Texas Facebook page. Go like, follow. Any Day in Texas YouTube. Go like, follow, subscribe. Listen, I'll have the podcast going again in just a little bit. I'm going to start working on another episode here real quick. Once again, if you're a veteran, you got some of them war stories out there, some, like I said, funny, heart-wrenching, tributes, whatever the case, I want them. All right, put them on the page if you don't want to be on the podcast, but if you want to be on the podcast, we can dial you in or come on out. We can always pour a glass and do some chatting, right? And of course, I'm gonna go over the weekly music, Spotify chart sources, things like that. Texas music pickers. We're gonna go over, find out who's rocking it out there, especially with the Spotify chart right now, because I like to go off of different charts. But the Spotify chart's gonna be more important than anything, because once again, these poor musicians out here got the carpet yanked from under them, and it's kind of my personal goal to be a part of keeping them going. So if they want to come out here and play on the back deck, by all means, be a great show for the rest of the guys down the canal, as you can see. Also be a great show for Facebook Live, possibly Instagram, YouTube, everything else too. So we want to get them out there, right? and set up their tip jars and all that stuff, and see if we can keep them moving until this junk gets over with. Okay. Also on the podcast, we may be doing just a little. I don't like to get too political on the podcast, right? I like to keep it lighthearted, but we may go over some of the stupidity of shutting down businesses once again, things of that sort. We'll discuss the whole mask thing, and who knows, man? Maybe we'll go off on a tangent. I'm used to doing that. But anyhow, once again, Any Day in Texas on all platforms, man. Jump on it, follow it, get the notifications, all that sort of thing. And we'll catch you on the podcast side, not the flip side, but the podcast side, right? We'll see you on YouTube, everything else too. This is gonna be exciting, guys. Like I said, I'm blessed to be friends with a bunch of damn good musicians. We'll see if we can get them down here and play and keep things living, right? And maybe do some fishing out on the sled. Who knows? But stay tuned, guys. Any Day in Texas. Any Day in Texas. Go there. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.